All right, it is about that time. I'm going to get my garlic into the ground. One of my favorite garlic is this purple garlic that I've been growing for a few years. And I actually like to propagate a lot of my items from the Asian market, even the dollar store, is that I try to get the best quality of what I do want to propagate. So I try to get like the biggest head. Does it look good? Is it well formed? And hopefully that will give me some really good cloves in which to base my garlic off of. One of these cloves will turn into an entire head of garlic if you play your cards right. And one thing about garlic is you do need a good dormant stage. You do need it to overwinter. It does need a certain amount of cold temps to do well. So I like to start it early, and that way I can kind of get it right at spring. So I have this garlic, and so I already have a bunch of them. I've already taken them out, and I'm going to do one more. I'm going to put gloves on because I always have gloves around. Sometimes I'll do that. Sometimes I won't. Like if I'm in my garden, I always forget to put my gloves on. Not these gloves, but my gardening gloves. Sometimes you want to feel the dirt. You want to be connected. But things like this, sometimes I'll throw my gloves on so that way I'm just not smelling like garlic for the rest of the day or something like that. Even when, you know, once you wash your hands, sometimes it'll get under your fingernails and things like that. So you want to go ahead and leave the skin on. The skin is what's going to protect it from, you know, rotting and doing other things while it's in the ground. So you actually do want to leave the skin on the bulb. You're going to put it bottom down where it's sticking up, because this is where the shoot's going to come up when you do get it in the ground there. Some things that I love to do, I love to make like pickled. I love pickled vegetables. This one I actually used some apple cider vinegar, so that's why it's kind of discolored a little bit. But these are some of my capellini onions that I grew, that I got in there. Love that. Some radish slice that I grew. These were store-bought carrots. Some of my red, some jalapenos, and some sage. I have a sage bush that I have back there that I've been growing. But that's what I love to do. I love to throw it in there with some pickled garlic, roasted, do a confit. I love these little things. So one day I will do a video on all my little jars of things that, you know, like these pickled vegetables. I'll put it on my sandwiches. Muffalettas, or you know, you can do an Italian sub. These vegetables go great. Or I'll just snack on some vegetables if I don't think I have enough vegetables for the day. I'll just eat some of my carrots and some of my pickled things. So yeah, so that's one thing I'll probably show, is all my little jars of things that I love to make. So, you know, things you're cooking, recipes. If you're going to roast something, you already have some nice, beautiful garlic confit. You can even spread it on toast, garlic bread, different things like that you might want to do with it. One thing that I am going to do is, before I plant these, I'm just going to soak them in water just to get them prepared. And so that way, when they get in the ground, they'll get a good start. They'll get some moisture on them, get them in the ground. And the main thing, I am going to make sure that this does go somewhere where there's a good shade. I try to make sure I always have a lot of things going back there, because I am kind of starting to move on to a little more self-sufficiency. I always said by the time I actually retire, I want to be about 80% self-sufficient. But I even still have some of my onions that I braided up hanging. So I don't know if you can see that up there. So my onions that I had hanging up. So I really am working on more sufficiency. Some things I'm still buying is, you know, my fruits. Bananas, apples, those are things that I love that I'm still buying, but I do have a lot of trees back there that will also go over that. Hopefully when they'll start producing, a lot of them are about 2 to 3 years old now, so they're not heavy producers, but I think about one more season we'll start to get a lot of fruit, so that way we can have some pies, we can have some frozen fruits. My son loves smoothies, so we have a lot of plans. This is going to be soaking. You can do this for like half a day. One day I wouldn't pull it over to multiple days. So I'll probably, it's literally about 8 a.m. This can, as far as I'm concerned, this can go into the ground at about 7 p.m. A lot of garlic cloves here. I want to make sure I have a lot, and I like to braid them up, hang them up, and just store them for the season.